What up, dudes? What's up, gangsters? Not gangsters, fellow gentlemen. How are we all? Fantastic. I got an extra shine on my head. I just went over it like a Zamboni with the... It's a bald guy thing, don't worry about it. Anyway, so what do we got? It's Monday. We're self-locked. I don't know what you call it. Imprisoned. Mandated by whoever. No one knows. No one knows what's going on and when it's going to end. But I do have something cool to share with you. Well, I think it's cool, and maybe you will dig it. But it's about courage. But it's about courage? No, not but. It is about courage, okay? Now, this is the best definition I've ever found of courage. It's in a book called Wild at Heart. It's a good book. It's a book for men. I recommend you read it. Also, books, take them with a grain of salt. Take what you need from them, what you learn from them, gather them, go back to them. I use them as a reference often. Don't think that just because you read a book and like everything in it, you're just gonna agree with it as you start. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So don't be ridiculous. Understand, you're not gonna agree with everything the author says, and that's just part of the game. Still finish the book though, you know what I mean? Finish the task, okay? Don't be like, this guy's talking bullshit. I'm not gonna read this. Read it. Finish the book. Try to see where this guy's coming from, see some perspective from his point of view or her point of view, and take what you need and discard the rest. Use what is usable, right? Okay, so back to this. Courage. Courage. I don't think that's how you say it in France, in French. But here's the definition, all right? So, without further ado, whatever. Okay. Here it goes. I'm just gonna read it right off the old page. 2 minutes in, I haven't told you what the hell it is. You still there? You're gonna hear it now. All right. Courage is almost a contradiction in terms. It means a strong desire to live, taking the form of a readiness to die. He that will lose his life, the same shall save it. It is not a piece of mysticism for saints and heroes. Wait, what the hell? It is not... Jesus, learn how to read. It is not a piece of mysticism for saints and heroes. It is a piece of everyday advice for sailors or mountaineers. It might be printed in an alpine guide or a drill book. The paradox of the whole principle of courage, even of quite earthly or quite brutal courage, a man cut off by the sea may save his life if he will risk it on the precipice. He can only get away from death by continually stepping within an inch of it. That's some gangster shit. A soldier surrounded by his enemies, if he is to cut his way out, needs to combine a strong desire for living with a strange carelessness about dying. He must not merely cling to life, for then he will be a coward and will not escape. He must not merely wait for death, for then he will be a suicide and he will not escape. He must seek his life in a spirit of furious indifference to it. He must desire life like water and yet drink death like wine. That is some savagery, dude. I love this. This shit to me like is the essence of it. The more, like, I read this quote to myself often, especially when I got to this. When I read the full book, this was the first thing I highlighted. This whole piece. This quote is actually from a different writer, and that writer's name is G.K. Chesterton. G.K. Chesterton. So if you want to look him up, that's actually his quote, and then John Eldridge used it in his book, Wild at Heart. Now, That being said, I butchered reading it, so I highly suggest that you go check it out. This shit's gonna get posted because it's gotta be real, dude. It's gotta be real. All right, I'll do better. So yeah. So that being said, my favorite line about courage, I would say, is this. The one that stands out the most, right, is this part right here. My favorite. A man cut off by the sea may save his life if he will risk it on the precipice, right? He can only get away from death by continually stepping within an inch of it. That part gets me every time. So meaning that, I mean, what I get from it, what I gather from that sentence there is that regardless, like to me, how I perceive it, regardless, death is coming, right? Regardless of what I do or don't do, death's waiting at the door. So you might as well do. Right? There's no, I mean, if the end is the same for everybody, right? Then you have to do. There is no other choice. And so the only way to escape death is to continually step within an inch of it. Right on the razor's edge. That fine line of risk, right? Where you're seeking something out. Whatever that is. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's business, maybe it's education, maybe it's being a family man, maybe it's whatever it is, right? Those are like more social things, right? Those are more like you know, like how do you say that, more like a calmer life, a civilized life, I would say. But like my spirit, right? My spirit just says, nah, man. It's time to call up some hoodlums and be like, yo, bro, what's going on in, you know, the car or wherever? What's happening? Let's get out there. Let's do some stupid shit. That's me. That's how I feel. Sometimes you just gotta get a little nutty, you know? You gotta get out there. And risk doesn't, I mean, to me, I think of like, when he's talking about risk your life, I mean, I literally think like, yeah, that's right. Because risking embarrassment and risking looking foolish or ignorant is just like, I'm like, all right, you know, okay. This is just me. This is my perspective. I mean, I could very well be completely out of my fucking mind. Wrong. Not out of my mind. That too. But I could just be wrong. But I highly recommend you check out this quote. Read it. After you read it, see how you feel about it. Maybe write something down. I would suggest you write something down. What you feel about it. How you feel about this description of courage. What does it make you think about? Does something pop or stand out in your mind about something you wish you had more courage to do more of? Or where you think you lack courage in a certain area? Whether that be, you know, the courage to risk a little more or something like that in your life. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. I see the timer running. Below 10. That's it. All right. All right, guys. So be courageous out there. Do good things. Wash your hands with soap. Lather, rinse. That's it. Later.